10 things you should never wear after 60. If you still want to look elegant, not outdated. Have you ever looked in the mirror and quietly wondered, have I started to disappear in the eyes of others? In your 60s or 70s, it's not uncommon to feel like the world is slowly moving on without you, not because of your health, but because of how people perceive you. And sometimes it all begins with something as simple as a blouse that doesn't fit right, a pair of shoes that's worn down, or an old handbag that's seen better days. Ruth, a 72-year-old woman from California, once wrote on a senior health forum, "I'm not afraid of getting older. I'm afraid of people looking at me like I've stopped caring about myself." And that's the heartbreaking truth no one talks about. You don't have to say a word. People make silent judgments the moment you step outside wearing something that doesn't reflect the pride you once carried. But here's the beautiful part. Just a few small, thoughtful changes in how you dress can completely transform the way others see you. Not because you're trying to impress anyone, but because you're reminding yourself that you still matter, that you still deserve to be seen, respected, and admired by others, and more importantly, by yourself. Today, we're going to walk through a list of seemingly minor fashion habits that hold surprisingly deep power over how we're perceived and how we perceive ourselves. And at the end of this video, I'll share 2 powerful insights most people overlook, choices that might be quietly stealing your presence and your confidence without you even realizing it. So stay with me, because what you're about to hear could shift how you show up to the world tomorrow morning. Are you ready? Habit number 1. Wearing clothes that no longer fit your current body shape. At 60, what stings the most isn't the silver in your hair or the crow's feet at your eyes. It's realizing that the things that once made you feel confident now make you feel out of place. Lorraine, a 68-year-old retired teacher from a small town in Michigan, once shared a story I've never forgotten. For nearly 3 decades, she cherished a denim dress, one she wore during her teaching days when she was still Ms. Lorraine. Surrounded by laughing students at recess, that dress held memories of joy, identity, and youth. One afternoon, while strolling through the park with her granddaughter, a little boy pointed at her dress and said, "Grandma, why does your dress look like the couch at my house?" Lorraine chuckled softly, but from that day forward, she never wore it again. It may sound trivial, but that moment reflects a silent struggle many older adults face. The quiet ache of no longer feeling in sync with the world. All because our clothes no longer reflect who we are today. Dr. Lynette Hughes, a senior image specialist at Silver Style Institute in New York, once said, "When you wear clothes that no longer flatter your shape, you're not just hiding your body, you're unintentionally hiding your essence." And she's right. Baggy clothes with drooping shoulders, sleeves too long, or extra fabric in the back can make us look like we're hiding from the world. Tight clothes, pinched waists, stretched fabric, zippers that dig in, make us feel like we're battling what we wear. Many assume loose hides the age, but what they don't realize is when clothing fits just right, not tight, not sloppy, your body looks stronger, your posture sharper, and your presence more confident. A 2021 study from the University of North Carolina found that older adults who wore clothing tailored to their current shape reported a 38% boost in social confidence compared to those who stuck with outdated or oversized outfits. It's a quiet shift, but it deeply affects how we feel day to day. So instead of clinging to that shirt that used to fit, be bold enough to choose one that says, "This is me now." Not to impress anyone, but so that when you look in the mirror, you can smile and say, "I'm still here. I'm still beautiful in my own way." Are you holding on to a piece of clothing just for the memories, even though it makes you feel unsure every time you wear it? If so, I'd love to hear your story in the comments. And if this message stirred something in you, hit the like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who's also on the journey of honoring who they've become. Habit number 2, choosing cheap, shiny, or wrinkle-prone fabrics. Ever had one of those mornings where everything seemed just right? Your hair's in place, your outfit's on, and you feel ready to take on the day, until you catch someone's glance or sense a strange pause in their smile. Robert, a 74-year-old gentleman from San Antonio, Texas, once shared a story that gently lingers in the heart. He always considered himself practical, valuing ease and efficiency. His go-to clothes, low-maintenance fabrics, quick dry, wrinkle-free, no ironing needed. On his granddaughter's birthday, he decided to wear a shiny light-colored shirt, thinking, why not brighten things up a bit? But in the family photo that day, amid the soft pastels and classic tones worn by everyone else, his shirt blazed under the lights. reflecting so harshly it practically stole the spotlight. No one said a word. No laughs, no comments. But Robert felt it. And just like that, the shirt was folded and tucked away. A quiet lesson learned. This isn't just about fashion, it's a reminder. After 60, the fabric we choose doesn't just affect our appearance, it quietly influences how we feel inside. Many lean toward synthetic fabrics like polyester, nylon, or satin because they're inexpensive and easy. But few realize these materials can stifle the skin, cause irritation, and reflect light in ways that exaggerate everything we'd rather soften. A curved back, a rounded belly, leaving us not just self-conscious but feeling out of place. According to the American Institute of Geriatric Dermatology, skin after 60 becomes thinner, more sensitive, and less tolerant of synthetic fibers. Non-breathable fabrics can trap heat, cause itching, even rashes, and worse, highlight the very features we want to downplay. On the flip side, natural fabrics, cotton, bamboo fiber, linen blends, or rayon offer gentle comfort and elegance. They breathe with you, move with you, and quietly complement who you are, not who you were. No glare, no cling, no betrayal. Maggie Coleman, a geriatric fashion expert from California, once said, "Fabric isn't just material. It's how you have a conversation with yourself without saying a word. When you choose the right fabric, you don't just look better. You walk taller, move easier, and most importantly, feel like you're honoring yourself, quietly, proudly." So if there's a shirt in your closet that gives you pause every time you think of wearing it, that makes you hesitate before stepping out the door, maybe it's time to try something new, something softer, something truer, something that reflects who you are today. After upgrading your wardrobe to clothes that actually fit and learning to say no to fabrics that wrinkle, shine, or sag, there's one more habit, quieter, often overlooked, that affects every step you take and how firmly you stand. Wearing old shoes, worn down heels, or soles that no longer support your posture. Most people don't think about their shoes until their shoes make them hesitant to walk. That discomfort doesn't hit all at once. It builds slowly through those soft clicking sounds under your heel, the faint wobble when you stand, the quiet realization that your feet just don't feel as steady as they used to. Harold, a 76-year-old from suburban Columbus, Ohio, was always on the move. Even in retirement, he tended to his garden, walked his dog every morning, and carried himself with pride at every veteran's reunion. But recently, his feet began to ache. His steps grew heavier. His heels throbbed at night. The reason? His favorite sneakers, worn faithfully for nearly 6 years, had lost their bounce. The soles had thinned unevenly, tilting his balance just enough to strain his knees and tire his stride. Harold didn't think much of it. Not until the day he nearly slipped stepping off his front porch. He didn't fall, but the jolt was enough to wake him up. A visit to the podiatrist confirmed it. The worn soles were no longer stabilizing his gait, increasing his risk of imbalance. Within weeks of switching to new shoes, ones with arch support and non-slip soles, Harold was walking straighter, faster, and surprisingly, he felt younger. According to the National Institute on Aging, over 60% of falls in adults over 65 are linked to poor footwear. Slippery soles, shoes that are too tight or loose, or lack heel and arch support. These details seem small, but the consequences can be life-altering. A good pair of shoes doesn't need to be expensive. It just needs to fit well, feel cushioned, and suit your body's needs today. More than that, it's a quiet promise to yourself that you deserve stability with every step. No wobbling, no strain, no second guessing. If your closet holds a pair of shoes with worn heels or stiff soles that have aged with time, maybe it's time to give your feet a better option. Because it's not just the clothes or fabric that shape how others see you. It's how you move, confidently or cautiously, that tells the deeper story of how you're living. And sometimes it's not just your feet that need support, but the eyes around you that need to be reminded you're still walking with purpose, pride, and self-respect. After adjusting how we choose clothes to better fit our current shape and learning to say no to cheap, shiny, wrinkle-prone fabrics that make us look sloppy, there's one more thing, quieter, less noticed, but deeply affects every step we take and how stable we feel each day. The habit of wearing old shoes, worn-out heels, or footwear that no longer supports our posture. Hardly anyone pays attention to their shoes until they start making you hesitant to walk. That feeling doesn't come overnight. It builds silently through each soft click under the heel, Through those moments when you stand and realize your feet no longer feel as firm as they once did. Mr. Harold, 76, who lives in the suburbs of Columbus, Ohio, is someone who loves staying active. Even after retiring, he keeps busy gardening, walking his dog every morning, and always showing up sharp at veterans gatherings. But lately, he noticed his legs feeling weaker. His heels ached every evening, and his steps felt heavier. The reason? His old sneakers that he had worn for nearly 6 years, his familiar pair, had lost their bounce, and the soles were worn unevenly. Harold didn't think it was a problem until the day he almost slipped stepping down from his front porch. He didn't fall, but that near miss was enough for him to realize his body was calling for help. When he visited an orthopedist, he learned that the worn soles no longer provided stability, affecting his knees and walking posture, increasing the risk of imbalance. Just a few weeks after switching to new shoes, with arch support and anti-slip soles, he found himself walking straighter, faster, and strangely enough, feeling younger. According to statistics from the National Institute on Aging, 50% of falls among people over 65 stem from inappropriate footwear. Slippery soles, shoes that are too tight or too loose, lacking heel and arch support. These are all often overlooked factors, but they carry serious consequences. A good pair of shoes doesn't have to be expensive. It just needs to fit well, feel comfortable, and suit your age. More importantly, it's a gentle reminder that you still deserve stability in every step, not trembling, not hesitant, not holding back. A good pair of shoes is how you tell your body, I still want to keep going and I will walk strong. If there's a pair of shoes in your closet with worn down heels, hardened soles shaped by the years, maybe it's time to give your feet a better choice, because it's not just clothes or fabrics that shape a person's image, it's how we walk, firmly or shakily, that says a lot about how we're living. And sometimes, it's not just our feet that need care, it's also the eyes of others that need reminding that you're still walking with dignity. And if shoes speak to how you walk, there's one more thing, small as it may seem, that quietly reflects how you carry your age with grace. The accessories we wear each day that tell a story of style and memory that you may never have even thought about. When our clothes are better fitted, our fabrics carefully chosen, and our shoes support each step, there's still one tiny thing, so small yet powerful enough to disrupt the whole picture, that many people overlook. The accessories we carry every day, a fraying belt, a handbag that's lost its shape, glasses that are too thick or frames that are outdated, a scarf with loose threads, or a pair of earrings that's lost its shine. Each of these, on their own, may seem fine, but when paired with a well-considered outfit, they become the off-key note in an otherwise harmonious song. Miss Norma, 70, a former freelance painter living in San Diego, always loved fashion. She'd held onto a leather handbag from her days teaching at art school, a wine-colored bag with a woven strap that she had once been proud of. But one day, while shopping for books with her daughter, she overheard a young woman whisper to her friend, "Look at that bag." Vintage, but in the wrong way. Norma didn't feel offended, but those words startled her. She looked down. The bag was no longer the elegant piece she remembered. Time had made it wrinkled, faded, and out of style. What saddened her wasn't that the bag was criticized. It was the realization that she had unconsciously clung to something that no longer belonged, simply because it had once been part of an older version of herself. According to senior style expert Helene Parks at the Boston Center for Aging, accessories are whispers of who you are. They're not as loud as clothes. They don't strike a pose like shoes, but they speak volumes about your taste, your spirit, and whether you're living in the present or still lingering in some chapter of the past. When you update your glasses to a new frame that fits your face today, or switch to a crossbody bag that's more durable, compact, and comfortable, no one thinks you're trying to look young. What they see is someone fully living as who they are right now. And that in itself is a kind of beauty. You don't have to throw everything old away, but you can be selective. Keep what holds value and set aside what no longer has purpose. Because sometimes holding on to an old item isn't sentiment, it's delay. If you still have a watch that hasn't ticked in years, a wallet with worn edges, or a piece of jewelry that makes you wonder, does this still suit me? Maybe this is the moment to take a closer look. Not to discard, but to understand. You deserve things that are beautiful, here and now. Tell me about an accessory you've been holding on to, out of habit, memory, or simply because you've never questioned whether it still reflects who you are today. And if this message made you take a second look at your bag, your scarf, or your glasses, don't forget to like, subscribe to Golden Wise Elders, and share this with someone who's also on the path of embracing the version of themselves they're proudest of. Because some things don't need to be said aloud, just worn, and others will feel it. But how they feel it is up to you. Habit number 5. Wearing childish or whimsical prints that no longer suit your age. There's something curious that few people talk about. Sometimes what makes us laugh the most is exactly what makes others go silent, and that silence, at times, speaks louder than 1,000 words. Linda, 73, from Denver, Colorado, is a joyful woman. She firmly believes that as we grow older, the most important thing is to keep a young heart. And that belief shows up in her clothing. She wears t-shirts with funny slogans like "I'm not old, I'm just vintage," or button-ups with cartoon cats wearing birthday hats and the phrase "meow is my party time." She didn't wear them to stand out, but to remind herself that she's still living, still having fun. But one day, at the wedding of her best friend's daughter, she realized she was the only person in the room wearing something with a cartoon on it. People still greeted her, still smiled, but there was something in their eyes that made her pause. No one criticized her. No one laughed, but she could sense their glances weren't filled with admiration, but with confusion. And in that moment, she understood. Sometimes what we wear is no longer just a reflection of personality. It becomes a layer that unintentionally hides the wisdom and grace we once took pride in. Dr. Gregory Hale, a visual psychology and nonverbal communication expert at UCLA, once said, "When the imagery on your clothing doesn't align with your stage of life, people misread the message, not as playful, but as someone clinging to something long gone." But that doesn't mean older adults should avoid color or be limited to dull, boring clothes. Not at all. The key isn't about being young or old. It's about choosing what fits the moment, what matches your inner presence. A soft floral blouse, a scarf with abstract patterns, or tones like olive green or dusty rose. These can brighten your face, make you look radiant and elegant, and still very much alive, without needing giant lettering or cartoon graphics. The charm of aging doesn't come from mimicking youth. It comes from making youth admire you for your calm presence, your thoughtful humor, and a vibrancy that doesn't try too hard. If you've ever worn a shirt simply because it made you laugh, but it left you feeling out of place in a crowd, maybe now is the time to try a different print. Something subtle that still makes people smile when they see you because they can feel that you're happy in a grounded, natural way. Because sometimes people don't look at the graphic on your shirt to judge if you're fun. They look into your eyes, your smile, and how you walk into a room. And that energy is what stays with them the longest. After realizing how certain prints, too childish, too whimsical, can suddenly turn you into the odd one out, the next thing to reconsider may not be the images on your clothes, but the overall colors we wear each day, because brightness doesn't always equal vitality. And bold colors don't always make us look younger. In some cases, it's the loud shirt, the overly saturated pants, or mismatched shoes that make an outfit feel heavy, forced, and unintentionally push the wearer outside the shared atmosphere of those around them. Samuel, 78, from Seattle, is an art lover who taught painting for nearly 30 years. To him, color meant freedom and personality. After retirement, he kept wearing bold combinations: neon orange shirts, cobalt blue pants, deep red hats. It made him feel different, youthful, expressive, but at a small, cozy birthday gathering for an old friend, where everyone else wore muted shades of beige, brown, and gray, he walked in like a burst of color, but not in a good way. No one said anything, but he noticed the paused glances, the hesitant greetings, and for the first time in years, he felt like he was stirring the room, rather than energizing it. Visual expert Evelyn Tran once said, "Color in clothing doesn't just affect how others perceive you, it directly influences how you feel." Neutral tones like cream, olive green, beige, and light gray can calm the mind, offer a sense of stability, and elevate elegance. When paired thoughtfully with accent colors like brick red, navy, or deep violet, you don't need to shout through color. Your presence quietly draws attention with poise, maturity, and charm. And the most important thing, color coordination isn't about pleasing others. It's about feeling in harmony with yourself. Every shade, every line, when placed with care, makes age a foundation of strength, not something to hide. And then, once the colors are right, the prints toned down, the fit just perfect, you think you're ready to step out. But then, on a gentle sunny day, you catch yourself standing in the light, and something shows through, thinner than you expected. And maybe it's time to look at another layer, more delicate, more sensitive, but one that carries great weight in how we're perceived, sheer clothing or undergarments unintentionally revealed without us even knowing. And perhaps you too have had a moment like that. A sunny day, light streaming across your shoulder, and suddenly you catch someone's gaze pause for just a second. Not because they found you stunning, but because something was showing. A bra outline visible through thin fabric, or a panty line revealed when you bent down. You flinch. You turn away quietly, say nothing. But inside, something stirs. Rose, 81, from Sacramento, California, is a woman of great care. She always chooses modest, gentle outfits, but on a weekend brunch with her daughter and a granddaughter, she wore a pastel silk blouse. In the bright morning light, what seemed like a thick, elegant shirt turned nearly transparent. When her daughter leaned in and whispered, "Mom, your shirt's a bit sheer." Rose paused for a moment. She smiled softly and pulled her cardigan closed, but for the rest of the morning, she didn't quite feel like herself anymore. All because of one tiny detail. According to Dr. Carol Michaels, a geriatric specialist and personal image expert from San Francisco, older adults often don't notice how fabric thickness changes over time or how natural light can reveal more than indoor lighting does. This is especially common with delicate materials like chiffon, thin linen, or light-colored tops without lining. And the issue isn't just aesthetic, it's about a loss of control. When part of your body is unintentionally exposed, even a small part, it doesn't just affect how others see you, it changes how you see yourself. Confidence shrinks, steps slow, glances become cautious, all because of a detail no one dares mention. But we can prevent that with very simple choices: trying on clothes in natural light, choosing tops with a soft lining, picking nude-toned undergarments instead of matching the outerwear, or simply bending down, walking, and sitting while trying on clothes, just to see if anything shows that shouldn't. Because at this age, you deserve to leave the house feeling secure, knowing that there's nothing you need to worry about, that every step, every movement is backed by your own thoughtful care. No need to be overly modest, just modest enough to preserve your self-respect. Because once you've mastered subtle color coordination, preserved elegance in every piece, the final, and perhaps equally important, step is reclaiming the right to choose for yourself, not letting old habits or age-old expectations make that choice for you. And that begins with re-examining the image you're putting into the world every day. Habit number 8, wearing clothes that are too baggy or too tight for your actual body. Even after refining your color palette, choosing quality fabrics, and elegantly ensuring modesty in every move, there's still something that quietly affects how others perceive us. It's not the style of the clothes, it's whether they fit your body well or not at all. Clarissa, 69, from Austin, used to be the head nurse at a local hospital. Since retiring, she's leaned toward oversized outfits, long loose dresses past the knee, roomy tops covering the hips, wide-leg pants twice her frame. For comfort, she said, to hide a body that's no longer slim. But one day, at a school reunion, she saw herself in a group photo, surrounded by peers her age, all wearing clothes that fit them just right. And there she was, swallowed whole by her own dress. That feeling lingered, because for the first time she realized that by hiding her body she had unintentionally hidden her presence, and even her vitality. Wearing oversized clothes often comes from a quiet fear of being seen as old, unattractive, overweight. But the truth is, it's the ill-fitting shapes that make someone look frumpy, as if they're shrinking away from themselves. On the flip side, clothes that are too tight, meant to hold it together or show the figure, often signal someone trying too hard to hold on to something that no longer suits them. In both cases, what's lost isn't beauty, it's ease and dignity. According to Helen Grossman, a style consultant for older adults in New Jersey, ideal clothing skims the body without clinging to it. Clean lines, shoulders that fall in place, trousers with a gentle drape, all create a graceful silhouette that lets you walk with confidence, lift your head high, and never need to explain yourself. So next time you look through your wardrobe, pick out that one outfit you used to love but haven't dared to wear, just because it's not loose enough to hide everything. Try it on. Stand in front of the mirror and ask yourself one simple question. Am I rejecting the very shape this life has lovingly sculpted for me? Being. If you've ever hidden in oversized clothes out of insecurity or clung to a tight outfit out of nostalgia for your former figure, I invite you to share your story. And if this reflection makes you want to pick something that fits your present body better, leave a comment, Share this video and subscribe to Golden Wise Elders, where we learn how to dress not to change who we are, but to walk gently alongside ourselves. And once the fit is right, the color soft, the folds lovingly considered, another detail begins to show. Not in your clothing, not your bag, but printed boldly across your chest. Sometimes, what makes people feel you're less refined isn't your style. It's a brand logo that overwhelms your presence. Because truly, what makes someone elegant at 60 plus isn't the brand they wear. It's how they wear it. Sadly, too often, people let the brand wear them. Mr. Leonard, 75, from Chicago, always took pride in having a modern sense of style. He often wore t-shirts with large fashion brand logos across the chest or baseball caps with bold embossed names on the brim. To him, it was a way of keeping up with the times. That was until one day, at a reunion with his old army buddies, where everyone else showed up in simple outfits, solid colored shirts, neat cardigans, soft toned khakis. Leonard, dressed head to toe in visible brand logos, stood out in a way that didn't feel right. Afterward, one of his longtime friends gently said, "What we value in you, Leonard, is the way you speak, the life you've lived, not the Gucci or Adidas on your shirt." That comment stuck with him because he realized what made him memorable wasn't the brand he wore. It was the stories he told, the memories he carried, the look he gave when he truly listened. Joyce Walker, a style expert at the American Institute of Dress Culture, once noted, "After 60, wearing big logos is no longer a statement of personality. It often looks like you're trying to prove something that you probably no longer need to prove." When logos dominate your chest, your back, your hat, they can drown out the very person you are. People start noticing the brand before they notice the soul. This doesn't mean older adults shouldn't wear branded clothing, but let the brand speak in silence, through quality stitching, durable fabric, a perfect fit. Not as a billboard for a company that doesn't need your advertisement. A simple shirt in good fabric, with clean tailoring and no lettering, can often make you look far more refined. Because you don't need your shirt to say anything for people to know how valuable you are. Are you wearing a shirt with a logo because you feel like it shows I've got style? If so, try wearing something with no name on it at all, just once, and see if people stop respecting you. Or maybe they'll finally see you, clearer, truer, and closer than ever before. And when you no longer feel the need to prove yourself through logos or to draw attention with wild patterns or colors, what remains, and perhaps the most important thing, is attitude. The way you stand, the way you walk, the way you carry yourself, every day with every step. And that begins with the shoes you choose to walk into the world. And when everything else about your outfit is in order, from well-fitted clothes to gentle colors to tasteful accessories, there's one last detail, seemingly small, but foundational to your entire presence: the shoes you wear. Many people think shoes are just to get from A to B. But in truth, it's your shoes that bring you closer, or further, from elegance. A pair of shoes can lift you up, or bring you down, both literally and figuratively. Mrs. Dolores, 72, from the Oregon suburbs, always adored high heels. To her, they symbolize grace. A woman's signature she didn't want to give up, even after retirement, but at a school reunion, she chose a pair of 3-inch heels that wobbled just a bit. As she stepped on stage for a group photo, her foot slipped slightly on the polished floor. She didn't fall, but the startled look on her friends' faces shook her. In that moment, she realized true beauty sometimes lies in the safety we create for ourselves, not in the height of our heels. On the other hand, Mr. Clark, 74, in Florida, always wore backstrap sports sandals, whether to weddings, parties, or church. "I'm too old to dress up," he would say, but those sandals, worn thin over the years, slowly eroded his posture, made his gait sluggish, and, worse, robbed him of a sense of dignity in moments that deserve reverence. According to the American Podiatric Health Association, adults over 60 should wear flat, non-slip shoes that fit snugly yet comfortably and match the occasion. A shoe for errands isn't a shoe for a wedding. A proper shoe won't just protect your joints. It will carry your confidence in every step. Because shoes don't just reflect style. They show how much you care for your safety. And at this age, safety isn't weakness. It's wisdom. It's a responsible choice for your body. For every step you're still blessed to take, every single day. Sometimes changing your shoes is the beginning of a new journey. Gentler, steadier, and more empowered than ever before. So we've now walked through 10 seemingly small habits in how we dress. but each has a deep impact on how we feel and how others perceive us after the age of 60. We've talked about clothes that no longer fit, fabrics that steal our elegance, accessories that hold memories but are now outdated, colors that shout so loudly they drown us out, and shoes. A habit so familiar, it can quietly drag down our stance and slow our stride. But the most beautiful part of all this isn't that we once dressed wrong. It's that we can change any of it, anytime, with just one small choice, to wear what feels right for who we are today. Aging isn't the end of style. It's the time we dress not to impress, but to honor ourselves. This body, these eyes, this stance, all of which have carried us through a lifetime, and now they deserve to be loved in the way we pick each shirt, each color, each pair of shoes we walk out in each morning. If something in this video made you smile, feel lighter, or simply think, yes, I've been there, don't hesitate to leave a comment. We'd love to hear your story. And if you feel this message is worth sharing, please hit like, subscribe to Golden Wise Elders, and share this video with a friend or loved one. Because sometimes a soft little reminder can help someone rediscover the beauty they've forgotten. Next week, we'll explore 7 outfit combinations that help you look strong, elegant, and full of life over 60, without needing to buy anything new. A gentle, practical guide you won't want to miss. Make sure to turn on notifications so you don't miss it. Thank you for joining us. May you choose a kind of beauty each day, one that fits your age, your energy, and the quiet pride that lives deep within your heart.